Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile 0 to Hero project video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Eye of Winter miner build. Now, it's actually another content creator called Path of Math that got me into this one. He has made a very juicy version, and I will be making a written guide version for his build leading into 3.16. However, in this video, we are going to be focusing on a very generic, super cheap approach with our 0 to Hero project, where I'm going to show you guys the solo self-fund approach between the start of the build into Act 9, Act 10, before we start investing to the build. I'm going to show you what I buy and how I'm thinking about the purchases, and moving into the next part of the video, or the series, where I'm going to do the early stage mapping, and then I'm going to show you the last progressions of gearing and upgrading of the character that I do before starting to nibble on the A8 Conquerors and A8 Sirus. So this video series, we've done Dominating Blow, we've done Holy Relic, and now it's time for a miner build, which is going to be played as a Saboteur. So we're going to try a little bit of a different format on this video series. And if you guys have any feedback on this video series and the way I do it, please let me know in the comments below what you guys think of it. But I'm going to start off by explaining the series real quick here. And we're going to start with today's video. And this video is basically me talking about the build theoretically, showing you the POB, which will be in the descriptions down below. And we're going to talk about the progression that I'm expecting to be playing. And in the next video, I'll show you Act 1 to 10. The video after that will be early stage mapping, upgrading your character, and going into yellow up to red tier maps. And then the video after that will be red tier maps, upgrading the last pieces, and doing A8 Conquerors and A8 Sirus. So if you guys think that format will be a better way to see these, to watch these videos, let me know in the comments below. So, to jump into it, basically we're going to play a Saboteur, and we're going to go for 2 cluster jewels. These cluster jewels is pretty simple. They're going to be Expert Sabotage and Surprise Sabotage. These are requiring a very low item level cluster jewels, so these should be very easy to alteration, augment, regal craft yourself. Shouldn't be very expensive at all, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. However, when you're progressing the build, you're going to take these nodes up here, the last, or maybe this one, because you might need the mana to reserve the mines when you're doing the burst. We will be using a Tremor Rod. Now, Tremor Rod can be a bit expensive on League start, but is very cheap just about a couple of days later. I think there are a couple of chaos right now, so it's a very cheap approach. Same thing goes with Calm's Heart. The build is going to be a little bit squishy, so we will be going with Calm's Heart to make up for the lack of HP. We're going to use a Series Step. You could use a Rare Boost as well, but we're going to scale a lot of dodging as one of the defensive mechanics for this build, so we're going to use a Series Steps for more higher defensive layers. The helmet is just generic helmet with HP. The gloves have HP. You're going to need a little bit of strength here and there, so I did put a benchcraft strength at the POB. Amulet is a strength and dexterity with strength dexterity mods and HP, and then we allocated the efficient explosive node on this. We're going to use Malachite's Artifice for elemental equilibrium, because that is just absolutely broken on pretty much any mono elemental damage builds in the entire game. Snake Pit is there in the right slot for chaining, so we can use Hydrosphere to make sure that all our projectiles are chaining on the boss to the Hydrosphere, but also the Hydrosphere onto the boss, essentially doubling our damage output. Strength, Life, Stygian Vice with a jewel that gives us a flat fire damage to spells was wielding a two-handed weapon. The reason we're using this is because we're going to scale 100% chance to crit. This allows us to start burning the enemies, which I'll mention why in a bit. You can use a Quartz Flask, or you can use a second Life Flask. We're going to use a Quicksilver, a Seething Divine Life Flask of Staunching for HP, and then we're going to have Eternal Mana Flask to keep up with the mana cost, and then Diamond Flask for a crit. We will be needing a Conquest Efficiency in this approach, and then the 2 clusters like I talked about, and then just a generic jewel with Crit Multi and Life. It's going to cost like 7 chaos or something last I checked. So the reason we want to have fire damage on one of the jewels is because of Explosive Expert. The reason we're using this is because the Demolitionist Specialist doesn't actually work on the Eye of Winter with the Tremor Rod, so this one is completely useless. Therefore, we're taking Explosive Expert as one of the Ascendancy nodes. This allows us to get 40% more critical strike multiplier against burning enemies, which is why we want to have one jewel with some fire damage on it. We're going to use Pyromaniac for the immunity to Ignite and Shock, but also the increased regenerations. Bomb Specialist for more damage, and Burning Shadows for blinding the enemies and making them deal less damage. And that's it. That's very generic. Tree itself, the way we're going to progress the build will be to level out and actually pick up Trickery and going for the Saboteur node pretty early, because I will be leveling with Orb of Storms and Stormblast mines for as long as I can. And we are going to try using Eye of Winter when we get it. Not sure that's going to work very well. We'll probably equip a Tabula Rasa around Act 9 or Act 10. We'll see how that goes. But the main approach to this will actually to be leveling with mines as soon as we can. So we're going to use Orb Storms with Stormblast, and we're going to try the Eye of Winter. But I think we're going to stick to Orb Storms with the Stormblast mines early on. Maybe have a smoke mine for a little bit faster mobility, but that's essentially the plan we're going to be going for, which means I'll pick up some extra life nodes rather early, go in for the successive detonations. I'm going to skip this part of the tree early, go for the mine nodes in general. We're going to skip the extra curses and get that later, and move in from Doomcast, stuff like that. All the crit will have to wait, and we're going to go for the actual mine nodes early on, and we're going to see how that goes, but we might change some things out. We'll see that in the next part of this video series. Quick note on the skill tree, we're going to use the Tremor Rod, Eye of Winter, Trap and Mine Damage, Swift Assembly, Increase Critical Strikes to get the 100% crit chance with Inspiration, and add a Cold. Auras will be the Insane Skitter Boss with all Mana Ailments, Bone Chill, and Steel Skin. Arcanist Brand is going to be there to provide Assassin's Mark on Frostbomb with a lower level Arcane Surge to give us more damage in Mana Region. And then the Hydrosphere, like I mentioned before, the reason we're speccing into Whispers of Doom is so we can have the Assassin's Mark and a Frostbite Curse. The Hydrosphere will Hex Touch the Frostbite, and we're going to have a Flame Dash for mobility as well. And like I mentioned earlier, Malaka's Artifice is going to use a Flame Golem. This allows us to use added flat damage to our spells on all our pieces that we can get without affecting our elemental equilibrium. This golem is going to die a lot, especially in higher tier maps, but it's only there for bosses to give you that insane burst damage versus bosses. So you really only need to care about him being alive when you actually get to a boss. That's essentially the theoretical plan of this build. The POB will be in the descriptions below. Let me know what you guys think of this format, and in the next video of this series, I'm going to show you the Act 1 to 10. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay safe, keep rocking.